there, my name is Wendy. I'm a Toronto-based Pipa teacher. So today we're going to go through a song called 月牙五更调. So loosely translated, it's 5 a.m. Crescent moon. So you can imagine with that kind of scenery, it's very peaceful, very calming. A lot of it times you're trying to make it very smooth, as smooth as possible, and that's one of the one of the difficulties of this piece is to how do you make your melody smooth, and that's a technique on the left hand and also on the right hand, how we can mash together the two and making sure that we are not letting go of the notes too early on the left hand, also play with a bit of softness to our notes, not just like purely plucking, right? So a pluck instrument is really easy to do all those jumping, detached notes. However, this case we're trying to almost like imitate a string instrument a little bit. So one of the things is that making sure that we're letting go of the notes really to the last minute possible, or last second, even millisecond possible before the next note, and that's how you actually connect some of the notes. The second thing that's difficult about this song is a lot of the fingerings. So before this, a lot of the easier songs are like standardized positions, the first position and the second position. However, the song we will be first introducing a kind of like a split between the first and second position, where you're going to be hovering somewhere in the middle between the first position and second position, but it still works. It shows that it still works, and sometimes you need to think outside of positions in order to find the most efficient fingering for some of the pieces. Lastly, we need to make sure that for this piece, we're practicing our long luan. So the luan zhi, in this case, actually has rhythm to it. So for this piece, it's every every eighth notes is a full cycle. So if you see a quarter note, that would be 2 cycles. If you see a half note, that would be 4 cycles. And because the luanzhi has cycles, it determines our speed of this piece. So it's at 76 beats per every quarter note. So it's not that slow, but it's also not that fast. Okay, again, we're looking at the smoothness of this song. So let's actually get started. So in the beginning, we have our standardized do, re, mi, fa, sol. So this is a D major, and we actually start with the re. So in a D major scale, normally we would be doing the first fret, right? So that's a D. That's a re in D major. However, this time we're gonna actually do re in D major, but on the second string, and that will bring us to the longest fret. And then I'm also using my ring finger because we need to reach our mi right afterwards. So re, mi is here. So our first finger normally would be here, has kind of like we kind of go down one tone, 2 semitones, and then you get the 6 right on your pinky. So the first sentence will sound like this. And then we have the long one. So this is a half note, so that means 4 cycles. That's 4. And then we end with a thumb so that we can start on the pluck for the next one. And then this part is where you actually switch back to the original position. Watch carefully. You still do the mi, which is with finger 1, and then you use pinky to get to the sol right here. So normally in this position, our pinky is at the 6, which is the la, right? So but this time, because we were trying to switch position back into first position, we kind of shrink our fingers a little bit and actually put our pinky on the sol. So we're back to the normal position now. And then once we shrinked like this, we kind of stretch out again, and then the second time that we play the mi, it will be finger 2. So the first mi is the sol, and the second mi, finger 2. Okay, that's one of the things that we need to look out for. The other thing that I kind of want to touch upon is actually the pluck plug, thumb. So this is a pattern going forward. Whenever you see a eighth notes combined with 2 16 notes, it's almost like a rule in Pipa where you do plug, plug, thumb, that type of rhythm. That always gets you plug, plug, thumb. And the other thing that's kind of like a rule that I mentioned before in some of my other videos is that every single time that you do a half lun, if the sentence is not complete, so if it's not at the end of a phrase or if it's not at the end of a bar, then the lunge right afterwards, the note right after the lunge is usually a thumb, a tiao. So, okay, in the beginning, right when we first start, we have that rhythm of eighth notes and then 2 16. So it's plug, plug, thumb, plug, plug, thumb. Okay, we're going to start from the beginning once more. The first half of the song. Then let's keep on going. Dotted rhythm. Again. So that's the whole song. I do want to touch upon the ending a little bit. It's a little bit different. So let's go back a little bit to... So we are using open string on the 4th string in order to move to positions without breaking the music, right? So in this case, your hand can let go of the notes a little bit faster and you will still get away with it. And then, so here, this is the place that I was like telling you about where you do the cycles. Even though the sol is only a quarter note, which is 2 cycles, the next note, which is the la, you actually end in the thumb. So it's 1 and most of the second one, and then you do the thumb for the 6. So you see how that the la is your tiao, and then you go back up. So this is a backward push. It's almost like it's a push essentially, but it's a backward pull. So because the reason why I say it's a backward pull is that you have to pull the string first and then you play, so you can hear the string coming back in only. So you don't hear the that's going out. You can hear the note going higher. That's a pull, right? A backward pull is that you already pulled and then you play. You hear the sound coming back in. So that's what happened. When you see the grace note for the pulls, the note itself is higher than the original, the bigger note, then that you know that's a backward pull. So in this case, it's from re, si. So you pull your second string where you put your finger where C is. That's a bigger note, right? So you put your finger where C is, and then you pull to the re, which is a smaller grace note. And then just like push down hard, don't let go of it, because once you let go, the sound will also stop. So you don't want to let go of it. You push down hard and then push it back. And then that's what you hear. All right. And we immediately go into the 4th string. And then that will be the fa sharp. So fa normally is here, right? So 1st string and the 4th string is an octaves like difference. So fa is here normally. So in the 4th string, an octave difference is the exact same fret. It's just on the fourth string, because fourth string is so much thicker than the first one, making sure that we're pressing down and solidly. That's a key, okay? So sharp, just meaning that you go down one like this. So that's where the fa sharp is. And then the difficulty part is that it's a 16th note, and you have to go right to the third string, first finger. So that switch between almost like both, or you have to press really hard in order to get a really good solid sound, or also you hear that like kind of like string, like kind of like buzzing sound. That's sometimes, it may be your pipa that's a little bit off, but also most of the time, if you have a really good solid pipa, it means that you're not pressing down hard enough. So making sure that you're having a really nice and solid sound. So right here, I went to the second string. You don't have to. Some music actually tells you to use the third string. Second finger, you can also do that. Your choice. And then we end like that, okay? So this song normally, let's just recap a little bit. The difficult parts is a cycle of 轮指. So that actually has rhythm, right? So every cycle is every 8 notes. The second part that you need to make sure is that everything's connected. You see how I'm not like... That's a broken up, more detached type of way of playing. So I'm trying to leave my finger on there, but not too long. Like... That's too long. You can hear both notes at the same time. That's when you left your notes too, like your first note a little bit too long. That's when you're connecting it. That's when you're connecting it, okay? So we are making sure that we're connecting all the notes, including when we have to change positions. One of the smoothest way of changing position is that shrinking of the hand and then expanding it again. So we had that happening a couple times. That's one of the key features of this this piece. The second thing that that's the second thing. The third thing that we need to realize with this piece is that the backwards pull. So sometimes, for some people, this might be the first time that they're experiencing this. For some people, this might not be the first time, but let's just go through it again. You pull the string, you put your finger on the bigger note, the lower note, and then you kind of pull first, and then you play. You hear the note, push down and let that slide back. So I did it a little bit too slowly, that's why you don't hear anything. But if I do a little bit faster, you're able to hear the residue sound sliding back up. Let's actually hear that again. You hear that note sliding back into the C. Okay, so that's another new technique maybe for some of you. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you want any other sort of guidance, please let me know, or check out some of my other videos. There are some really good resources for you to learn Pipa online.